A lot of you are still talking about that amazing face transplant that made medical history late last month. Shortly after that, we introduced you to David Roche, a man whose deformed face actually led him to become a comedian and motivational speaker. You might remember that he told us he'd never want a new face. Now, a lot of you wanted to know more about David, so we sent Ted Rollins to find out how he makes people, especially kids, go from stunned silence to laughter. It's a real lesson in life. Just watch.
What happened to your face?
Thank you. I thought you'd never ask.
These students came to see David Roche's face. He doesn't mind showing it to them or talking about it. In fact, David makes his living off his face as a stand-up comedian.
You've heard of a bad hair day. I'm having a bad face day, okay?
Roche travels the world, getting up in front of crowds, making people laugh. In the process, he says people see past his face.
It's like the middle-aged man's dream. I tell the same stories all the time. People applaud, they pay me money, and they tell me I'm great. They see that someone who looks totally different, unique, disfigured, if you will, is normal in the sense of like I carry myself like a normal human being. I want you to stare at my face today.
Roche also makes time to talk to children, like these sixth graders, hoping to change the way they see people that are different. Since birth, Roche has lived with a rare non-cancerous tumor on the left side of his face.
It's the tumor that you see here is my own blood vessels, my own veins, all swollen, entangled, engorged, and mixed together that bulge out like that.
At first, as you can see in the expressions of the children, David's appearance can be disturbing. But he says a few minutes is all it takes for most people to get over it.
The stare, the double take, you know, the look of astonishment, looking away, all those sorts of things. But you know what? It's normal. I look at other people that way too. And I used to think that was prejudice, but it's not. That first 10 minutes is free time. You get to stare. It's what happens after that, when it's time to take the second look, as Marlena says.
Marlena is David's wife, who he says helped him go from a computer programmer that never talked about his face to a performer. She occasionally joins David on stage, talking about falling in love with a man she initially had trouble looking at.
That first look is not what counts. I needed time to adjust to David's face and how he looked.
That's a great lesson to learn for someone like me, because I used to have the story that everybody thinks I'm weird. The truth is, they don't. They just need to stare a little bit. If you have false teeth, here's the tip. Don't ever take them out for a child who's under age 6.
David's talent has allowed him to become a full-time comedian. He recently did a holiday show with a friend who's also disfigured in his hometown of Mill Valley, California. Over the past 15 years, he's performed around the United States, including at the White House, and in Australia, Russia, and other countries.
I'm not scared, because I belong to a gang. There's Chucky, there's Freddy Krueger, there's the Phantom of the Opera, there's Igor, Frankenstein, huh? Those are my homeboys.
David says he loves to make people laugh and knows that by doing so, he can change what people think of him and hopefully others who are disfigured.
It's easy to look at the face as the locus of the human persona, but it's not. It's the soul. It's whatever you want to call that part inside, the spirit, the self. Thank you. I'm David Roche. Thank you.
After less than an hour of listening and looking at David, the sixth graders left with smiles. They seemed to like what they came here to see.
Bye, 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 bye. Thanks a lot.
Ted Rollins, CNN, Mill Valley, California.
An effective teacher for all of us. One more thing, when David started dating his wife Marlena, his face was never even discussed. Neither of them dared talk about it for about 6 months.